if the Niners trade for Trey Lance, does that mean they have a Hall of Famer in their back pocket, such as Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady? Kirk Cousins is not a future Hall of Famer, but you know what I'm talking about. Well, some established starter, is that it can't be Sam Darnold, but is that the ace up their sleeve here?
I think regardless if Trey gets traded or not, that's still going to be on the table and talked about. I mean, again, it's the same thing of why I mentioned, like, hey, Matt Ryan could be a worst case scenario if Sam Darnold, Trey Lance are underwhelming, and especially if Purdy has a setback. I think if you're going through OTAs, Trey Lance, Darnold, it's like, okay, wasn't so inspiring. Let's go to training camp. Then you're 2 weeks into training camp, and it's like, oh God, dude, what do we have here? We don't have nothing. What's up with these guys? We're feeling a little scary. Yeah. And then Purdy is like, I don't know. We're still unclear with this guy. Yo, Tom. Hey, Tom.
Please.
Get this guy. Like,
please.
I think at that point you start freaking out because you don't want to waste this Super Bowl roster, this playoff contending roster.
You don't want another 2020. You don't want another 2020.
And this goes back to the same point. It's like, okay, then you're going to rely then on that rookie that you're going to most likely draft. And so that's why it makes no sense for me for them to trade Trey Lance. It's like, dude, this guy at least has a leg up, at least you would think, just on the playbook alone.
Mentally.
Mentally at least. Yes, mentally at least. Maybe physically in that because she's still not there yet, but whatever. You got to at least see that through. So, so you're going to trust in that. So even if you do get like that DTR or whoever, it's still not enough to really instill a full amount of confidence, or at least I wouldn't think so. That'd be a crazy jump if he's looking that great. So I think that's why you have Brady definitely on the table, or whoever else could be like behind the 8 ball in terms of getting into the team.
Yeah. I think that's the only way they can sell trading Trey Lance to their fan base. It's gonna be a very unpopular move, but if they have Tom Brady waiting in the wings or Aaron Rodgers, I don't want Aaron Rodgers. But if fans would be fine with Aaron Rodgers. Fans might even be fine with Kirk Cousins, although to me, he's not that big of an upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a guy's not going to win a Super Bowl ever in his life. I feel very confident about that. Kirk Cousins, not going to win a Super Bowl. Never going to happen. Never, ever. So don't do him. But Tom Brady, like if they get him, then okay. You know what? Like you're probably the wrong team for Trey Lance anyway. And, Tom Brady's great. So win a Super Bowl. But you got to win a Super Bowl.
You have to win the
Super Bowl. You have to. I don't know if the Niners want that kind of pressure, man. That's a lot of pressure.
I just think like if you're going Tom Brady route, and it's like, is that why you're going for wide receivers in the draft? You're looking for someone who's more of like a prototypical receiver.
Get a right tackle.
That's a little too. Oh wait, are they? I mean, if you're gonna get Brady, then you're really going to have to secure that like front line at least. I mean, at least you got these other guys who have a little mobility to delay that, or at least give you a nice little stiff arm onto that. What those weaknesses are in your offensive line. Brady's just gonna be a sitting duck all day in there. You better hope you bring like a nice stone wall there, restriction everything.
Well, I hope Kyle Shanahan's ultimate legacy isn't that he sent Tom Brady into like for real retirement with an injury, because that's Kyle Shanahan's pattern right now. But I think it's interesting, like for all they gave up for Trey Lance, if they trade him away, I don't know. It's just, again, what you could say is, when this all plays out, you could say is the Niners were the team that traded 3 firsts and a third for a guy who played 1 season in FCS football. That's what they did. And then they traded him away for a third after he started 4 games in the NFL. Like, when you put it like that, it's just so incompetent. So incompetent. So don't do it.
After that, that's why it's like, just start trading all your firsts at this point, because when you use them, it's like it never works. This team is terrible in the first round. Terrible. Nick Bosa's the only one. He's probably the most no-brainer. I don't know how much credit you can give to him. If anything, you should say thank you to the Cardinals, because you already knew they were going Kyler Murray. It was the worst kept secret. Ayuk, second best, but you're probably not going to keep him. You don't know 50-50. Other than that, everyone else with. McGlinchey, like, great, you got 5 years out of him, but it's like, all right, you don't draft in the top 10 for someone just to leave. Like, oh, they couldn't afford him. Well, yeah, they couldn't afford him because they let him hit free agency. Why? He stinks.
No, you draft a guy in the top 10 for him to be a franchise cornerstone for multiple contracts. That's why you don't draft running backs in round 1, because they get hurt so much. A lot of them don't get a second contract. You want to give your first round picks a second contract, especially top 10, because you don't get to draft there very much. Those are cornerstone players. You not plug and play freaking mediocre starters. Manny Fresh says Trey not getting traded. No way Darnold starts. No way Darnold starts. Yeah, the Niners aren't that crazy. Maybe. Tony says no one will be held accountable because Jed is a nerd.
Nerd.
I am your leader says no one. Someone needed to get fired for thinking Kinlaw could replace Buckner. DJ Jones saved us. That's a good point.
DJ Jones did save them. My God. And that was the one guy free agency last year. I was like, you know what? The Niners are going to come back and be like, damn, I wish. I always write the article about like who are they going to regret if Fields things? Like, damn, I wish we still had them. He was the one.
William Bonnet says it's annoying to the fan base, but how frustrating do you think the quarterback controversy each season is to the vets on the team? The guys win a Super Bowl now mode. I think the Niners get a kick out of it. They think they don't need a quarterback. They think they can win with anyone. I think they like being the team that's always got this quarterback drama. I think they love it.
This is why you can't have players like pick coaches, teammates, whatever, do all this stuff, whatever, because these guys, this core of the 49ers, jump easily. It's jump ship like they fell in love with Purdy after like those first 2-3 starts, and it's like, hey, this guy won, and the fact he looked decent. But even
just
if
like with Jimmy,
even if he didn't look decent, it's like they associate winning. It's the same thing why I always give LeBron so much slack. It's like this guy always looks at these players. What is this guy thinking of? He's choosing the players, and it's like they're not fit. These guys just see like winning matters. It's all like, yeah, no doubt, winning matters. You're a competitor. That's what you want. But it's like there is like should be an oversight, a huge like all 22 view in terms of like projection,
a big picture
associated with winning. But it's not the driving factor that you think he is. You just think he is because he's your teammate and your bias and all this stuff. So yeah.
Manny Fresh says, I think they moved up to get Rodgers. That's why they did it a month early after that blew up. They had to take Trey. What do y'all think? I think they moved up to take Rodgers 2 years ago. Get an asset that they could. But I mean, why would you consolidate 3 first-round picks into one? I mean, just send your first-round picks to Green Bay. They can make that trade if they. I mean, why is the third pick more? I don't know.
Because your pick right now is always more valuable than your picks in the future, especially if you're going to put Rodgers. Because if you imagine you put Rodgers on that 2021 team, that Niners pick is going to be top 4 every year. It already is every year.
Good point. Good point.
I like that better.
Yeah, it makes sense. Jose's smarter than me. Thank you for explaining that. That makes sense. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. And they blew it. So,
well, then in that case, I would say like you did all that without really putting a negotiation or affirmation or confirmation with the Packers first. You did that first and then sought the Packers after. That's stupid.
Bad
process.
That's
malpractice then.
Malpractice. All right.
Hey, I'm gonna sell my car and be without driving one, and just to see if I can buy your car. Oh no, we don't have a negotiation. Well, crap. I'm stuck without a car now.
Yeah, now I got a bike, which is where the Niners are.
Now I got to settle for this new car that hasn't been test run.
Yep, absolutely.